Google just dropped something that should terrify every privacy advocate on the planet. An artificial intelligence system that can track your eyes, read your gaze patterns, and predict what you're thinking about in real time, within seconds. Not in a lab. In the real world. We're talking about technology that can follow your attention, interpret your intentions, and weaponize that data before you even realize you've been analyzed. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. And almost nobody is talking about it. Google's research division unveiled an eye-tracking AI system that operates with unprecedented speed and accuracy. The technology uses standard camera feeds to detect precise gaze patterns and interpret them in real time. Unlike older eye-tracking systems that required expensive hardware and controlled environments, this works on smartphones, laptops, and regular cameras. Google demonstrated it reading gaze direction, pupil dilation, and focus duration instantly. The system can identify which objects, faces, or text you're looking at and make predictions about your mental state. The company framed it as an accessibility breakthrough. But the implications go far deeper. They've created a machine that, in seconds, can know what you're looking at, how long you're looking at it, and what emotional response it's triggering. The technology is deceptively simple. Standard cameras capture light reflections off your eye. The AI analyzes pupil size, corneal reflections, and eye movement patterns. Algorithms calculate where you're looking with millimeter precision. The system then cross-references that gaze point with on-screen content to identify what you're viewing. But here's the scary part. It also measures micro-expressions. How your pupils dilate. How your eyelids twitch. The speed of your saccades, those rapid eye movements. All of this happens in milliseconds. The AI learns your personal gaze patterns, your attention spans, your visual preferences. It builds a profile of how you process information. The real power isn't just knowing where you're looking. It's predicting what you're thinking based on how you're looking. Accessibility is the headline. Helping paralyzed patients control computers with their eyes. That's genuinely useful. But Google didn't build this just for accessibility. Advertising companies are already interested. Imagine billboards that track which products you look at longest. Stores that monitor which items hold your attention. Retailers analyzing real-time customer behavior without explicit consent. Insurance companies could study your gaze patterns while reviewing medical documents to assess your risk profile. Job interviews could be monitored. Your eye movements could reveal stress responses, deception, or disagreement before you speak. Casinos and gambling platforms could use it to identify vulnerable players. Dating apps could measure your genuine interest in profiles. Every second of your visual attention becomes a data point. Every glance becomes a transaction. Your eyes, which you thought were private, become the most transparent part of your identity. We've spent a decade debating data privacy around location tracking, browsing history, and social media activity. But eye tracking cuts deeper. Your gaze patterns reveal your authentic interests, fears, desires, and vulnerabilities. They expose what you actually care about, not what you claim to care about. Advertisers dream of this. Authoritarian governments see a surveillance tool. Employers see a way to monitor engagement and emotional state without you knowing. The scariest part? You can't hide it. You can't opt out of your eyes. You can't delete your gaze. An algorithm studying your pupils knows you better than you know yourself. And here's the kicker. Most of this technology will operate silently, invisibly, in the background of apps you already use. You won't be notified. You won't have consent mechanisms. The infrastructure will be built into your devices before regulations catch up. We're at an inflection point. Eye tracking was theoretical 10 years ago, marginal 5 years ago. Now it's embedded in Google's infrastructure. Within months, it will spread to other tech companies. Within a year, it'll be in hundreds of millions of devices. By 2027, opting out will be nearly impossible. The digital privacy we think we have is already an illusion. But eye tracking removes the last layer of plausible deniability. You can delete your browser history. You can use a VPN. You can refuse to share your location. But you can't control where your eyes point. Your attention is the new currency, and they're about to monetize it at a scale that makes social media manipulation look quaint. This isn't just about advertising. It's about human agency. It's about whether you'll ever have a truly private thought again. Because once they can read your attention, they can predict your behavior. And once they can predict your behavior, they can control it. Practical solutions are limited, but not non-existent. Demand explicit consent before any eye-tracking data collection. Check your device settings for camera permissions and restrict them. Use privacy-focused browsers and disable camera access for apps that don't need it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Individual action isn't enough. This requires policy intervention, real regulation, the kind that actually restricts corporate data harvesting instead of theater around it. Contact your representatives. Push for biometric privacy laws. Support organizations fighting for digital rights. Because the moment eye tracking becomes standard, consent becomes meaningless. Millions of people will blindly accept permissions without reading them. The infrastructure will normalize. And suddenly, the most intimate details of your attention will belong to corporations and governments. The window to stop this is closing. Not in 10 years. Now, the technology is ready. The deployment is imminent. Your move. In 5 years, eye tracking will be as ubiquitous as location services. Your device will know what you're looking at, how long you're looking at it, and what emotional reaction it triggered. That data will be valuable, infinitely valuable, and you won't be compensated. You won't be asked. You'll just be transparent. The question isn't whether this technology will be deployed. It's whether you'll accept it or fight it. Google positioned this as progress, as accessibility innovation. That's not wrong, but it's incomplete. Every technology that reveals human intention becomes a tool of control in the wrong hands. Eye tracking is no exception. The choice ahead isn't between privacy and convenience anymore. It's between agency and automation, between knowing yourself and being known, between privacy as a right and privacy as a negotiable commodity. What you do in the next few months will determine which future we actually get. Eye tracking AI isn't just a technology. It's a threshold. Once you cross it, there's no going back to analog privacy. Google opened this door. Now it's up to us to decide whether we walk through it or slam it shut. The surveillance infrastructure of the future is being built right now in research labs, in boardrooms, in plain sight. Your attention is being harvested. What happens next depends on whether you notice. If you want more videos like this, subscribe and follow Oops, It's AI. See you in the next one.